right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Mildred Pierce, 1945. I was looking forward to this. Disappointed a little bit. It was pretty decent film noir from 1945. Joan Crawford got Best Actress Academy Award for this, and was nominated for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actresses, and Best Screenplay. It's kind of dark and gloomy. It was a box office hit. Budget of $1.4 million, box office of $5.6 million. And Joan Crawford, first starring role for Warner Brothers after leaving MGM. All right. 1996, Mildred Pierce was deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant and selected for preservation in the United States Library of Congress, National Film Registry. It earned $3.4 million in the U.S. and $2.1 million in other markets. What else? I think there are a bunch of references to this movie in Mommy Dearest. Oh, yeah. The movie Mommy Dearest mentions the screen test Crawford, played by Faye Dunaway. What a great flick. Love Faye Dunaway. Mommy Dearest. I saw that movie on... No, I did. Yeah, I did. I saw that movie on the big screen with my ex-wife. It was a double bill with The Honeymooners in San Francisco, and Peaches Christ, the transvestite, was sitting right behind us, laughing the whole time. Only in San Francisco, right? So the movie Mommy Dearest mentions the test Crawford, played by Faye Dunaway, must endure, a rehearsal scene at her home for the movie, a portrayal of her at home during the Academy Awards radio broadcast, announcing the 1945 winners, and her acceptance speech outside her home for a team of reporters. So this was quite a triumph for Joan Crawford. She's a lot better than Johnny Guitar. Oh, man. That movie irritated me. Johnny Guitar. All right. Anyways. It starts off with the murder. We don't see who the murderer is, and we don't find out until the end of the movie. There's a cool plot twist ending. When I saw the beginning of the movie, it started out promising. It cuts to Joan Crawford walking down the boardwalk or whatever. She looks like she's going to jump into the water, take a swim. But the police officer stops her and tells her to go home. Then she coaxes her friend and business partner, Wally, who owns property and runs bar clubs or something. She convinces him to go to the beach house where the murder took place. And she just shuts the door behind her, and Wally's talking to her, trying to hit on her, and Wally busts through the window, cuts his hand, after he sees her dead husband on the floor. And he tells the police, oh, by the way, there's a dead body in the beach house that I just busted myself out of. So, anyways, it's very confusing what's happening. And it all makes sense when you read the plot on Wikipedia all the way through and you watch the movie. I've been reading a lot of this stuff off Wikipedia, but I'm coming up with my own plot. I'm not reading that part. I often use Wikipedia as a crutch. Okay. I readily admit that because there's so many tidbits and little pieces of trivia that I would never have guessed had I not read it on Wikipedia. Anyways, it gets a very high 8.0 out of 10. Even better than the last movie I saw, Meet John Doe. 26,000 ratings. Wow. This movie is still very popular. Looks like. Even to this day. Anyways. So after that incident, Joan Crawford goes to the police station and she starts having flashback about what actually happened, which is sort of reveals who the killer is at the end. So she's got a 10-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old daughter. The 16-year-old is a total shanty tramp. Libertine, crazy teenager. She's a problem child. Her 10-year-old dies from pneumonia. And she's going through a divorce with Bruce Bennett, who's also in Dark Passage. Another pretty decent film noir. Bruce Bennett is in a couple of decent ones. From what was Dark Passage? 1947. So Bruce Bennett was in 2 film noirs within 2 years of each other. Pretty cool. Anyways, Joan Crawford is divorcing Bruce Bennett because he's got a little side business going, but his side business decides to marry somebody else later. So he's going to regret divorcing Mildred Pierce, Joan Crawford, played by Joan Crawford. Anyways, she has to. She feels guilty that she's baking pastries or cakes or whatever for a living, and she can't pay her bills, so she decides to look for a job. She finds one at a restaurant, which is and she learns everything about the restaurant business in 6 weeks. and then she gets Wally to help her buy property where there's a lot of car traffic. It's somewhere in Pasadena, California or something. I just heard the owner of this house telling me she's going on a vacation in Pasadena. I don't think I've ever been there, but I used to have an uncle that lived in Southern California, San Bernardino, which is nowhere close, I guess, according to the owner. Anyways, so she buys some property from this other guy, Monty. And Monty is kind of a playboy. He's kind of like the mirror image of of her 16-year-old daughter are grown up. So Veda, her 16-year-old daughter, is a bratty social climber, according to Wikipedia. I did read that just now. It's the only part that I read off of. Anyways. So she's fighting with her mother. She says, "You can't support my lifestyle. Sounds like my first wife." Anyways, she gets Joan Crawford buys her a car, and it's still not good enough. I'd like to do that for my son when he turns 15. I used to think, oh, I'm never going to spoil my son, but I really want to do that for him in a couple of years, about 2.5 years from now. Anyways, Veda storms out of the house, tells her, "You never amount to anything," and then Crawford smacks her across the face. That probably happened in Mommy Dearest when Faye Dunaway played Joan Crawford. It's funny how art imitates life, but I think in Mommy Dearest there was a coat hanger involved. Like I said, great flick, Mommy Dearest. So Veda starts doing the she's a nightclub singer in one of Wally's nightclub, and Joan Crawford tells her to come home. She's disgusted that all these sailor guys are whistling at her. I'd be disgusted too if she's only 16, but anyways. I don't know how old she was in real life, the actress who played Veda, but she had kind of an interesting outfit on. I couldn't even tell that she was white in a black and white movie. She looked like she was like Filipina or something. I couldn't describe it. It was weird. Anyways, so after that, Veda wants to marry this well, the thing that really started the fight between Joan Crawford and Veda is that she secretly married this well-to-do guy, Ted Forrester, for his money and his position. Then she blackmailed him for $10,000, falsely claimed that she was pregnant when they tried to dissolve the marriage. And then Joan Crawford just ripped up the check, and that's when she left the house. So Joan Crawford goes back to Monty and asks Monty to marry her, but Monty demands 1/3 of her business. By now, she's bought a restaurant which used to be Monty's property, and she's turned it into a bunch of successful restaurant chain, Mildred's restaurant chain, fried chicken and cake and stuff. So, but as soon as Monty gets his hands on the business, she goes bankrupt. And then I don't want to spoil the ending, but a pretty decent ending. It's like the beginning of the movie, kind of repeating itself, but showing who the real murderer was. And the real ending was kind of unexpected. Well, it was expected for me because I read the plot on Wikipedia before I finished the movie. But anyways, 4 to 5 stars. It was decent. I'm not going to post the the movie or the trailer in the description box, but you get a good idea of who the actors are. I think one of the supporting actresses was in Grease. One of the younger supporting actresses. Anyways, I was a little disappointed. I guess the moral of the story is you can't really judge a book by its cover. I saw film noir and I thought, I was going to really enjoy this one, and I wouldn't enjoy Meet John Doe because it was a comedy drama. Can't really judge a movie by the genre, really. There's one romantic comedy that I really liked with Robert Downey Jr., for instance, that really surprised me back when I was watching movies with Symphony Chu. She doesn't talk to me anymore, but she can't not remember me. I mean, we were really close. She thought she was my brother or something, or she thought I was her brother, I should say. Got she and he mixed up just now, but got a couple naps in, 30-minute and an hour nap. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to start watching that Dick Tracy's G-Men again. I didn't see Karate Man today, but maybe I'll catch him on Wednesday afternoon or something in the chat room. And the HDXYZ didn't make any appearances today. So it's kind of ironic that I didn't see Karate Man in the chat room, and I didn't see HDXYZ either. It's been a quiet day. All right. Well, that's it. I'm going to cook some pork chops now. Time to cook dinner, drive him home, and then get my tortilla chips at the Communist Socialist store on Folsom Street later.